To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.
So my dear children, in the earlier chapters, we discussed several things regarding the biosphere lesson. And my dear children, finally, we discussed about the diseases that can be caused because of changing the lifestyle of human beings. And we discussed how does the lifestyle is going to change in human beings usually because of several reasons like urbanization and industrialization. And my dear children, finally we stopped about the diseases that is caused mainly because of change in the lifestyle of human beings. Now we are going to discuss, right? And previously, I think we have studied about the CKD, chronic kidney disease. Actually, this kind of a disease which is caused mainly because of the renal failure. And over there, we discuss about the CKD mainly, chronic kidney disease, right? Now we are going to study about other different kinds of diseases that is going to cause because of the change in lifestyle of human beings. Okay, so here as the second type of disease, we are going to discuss about, as you can see within the board it is given, right? We are going to discuss about the diabetes. So my dear children, you know that diabetes is a condition which is caused on people, right? Mainly because of increase in the blood glucose level, right? I think you have learned about the diabetes lesson when we are discussing about the systems lesson, right? When we are discussing about the biological systems lesson, we have learned about the diabetes, how it is going to cause, right? So mainly diabetes is caused because of the increasement of blood glucose level than the normal level, right? Usually there should be 80 to 120, right? So if this level is going to increase, if this glucose level is going to increase within our blood, then my dear children, diabetes will occur. Okay. So we are going to discuss in here, right, how does the change in lifestyle will make diabetes. Okay. How does the change in lifestyle in people or in our human beings will affect the diabetes disease. Okay, here especially we are focusing about that thing, my dear children. Now let's see. Increase of blood glucose level above the normal is known as diabetes. Normally, insulin turns the excess glucose in the blood into glycogen and allows it to store in the liver. Dysfunction or inborn absence of beta cells in the islets of Langerhans, which is located in the pancreas, secretion of insulin fell. So here it is given, my dear children. Now you know already these things because we have learned these things in our 6th lesson, right, within the biological systems. So usually there is a hormone called insulin. So this insulin hormone controls the blood glucose level in human beings. Okay, so this is located, or this insulin is going to secrete from the pancreas, right? From the pancreas, and over there is a special kind of a cell called beta cells. So within the beta cells, right, within the Langerhans of pancreas. Okay, so there are special kinds of cells which are referred to as beta cells. So these beta cells are the ones which is going to secrete insulin. Okay, so dysfunction or inborn absence of beta cells in the islets of Langerhans, which is located in the pancreas, secretion of insulin fell. What will happen? Now, dysfunction, that means not functioning properly, dysfunction, or else inborn absence. Sometimes, my dear children, these cells are absent within the person. It's mainly because of genetical disorder. okay, or else genetical mutation. Sometimes DNA can mutate or change, and because of that, like inborn deficiencies, okay, inborn, they do not have any kind of these beta cells within the Langerhans of pancreas, okay. So my dear children, what will happen then? Because of these difficulties or because of these misfunctions, what will happen? The secretion of insulin will fail. The secretion of insulin will fail. So in that case, the person will not be able to produce insulin. So what is the function carried out by insulin then? So here, increase of blood glucose level above the normal level is known as diabetes, no? So insulin is the one which is turning this excess glucose in the blood into glycogen. So glycogen is a carbohydrate, okay. So if there are too much of glucose within the blood, insulin is going to secrete, and this insulin can act on glucose to convert the excess glucose into glycogen, and this glycogen is now getting stored within the liver of the human being. So if there is no enough insulin, then this process will not be carried out by our body. That means, my dear children, too much of glucose is getting collected within our blood. So this is the reason for the creation of diabetes, okay. So if there is a dysfunction, or else if there are inborn absence of beta cells within the islets of Langerhans in pancreas, then my dear children, the secretion of insulin will fail. If the secretion of insulin will fail, then what will happen? Insulin will not come out properly, and therefore the blood glucose level will rise up. So this condition is the one which is referred as diabetes, okay. This is the condition which is referred to as diabetes. So this is how diabetes is getting created, my dear children. So main reason behind the creation of diabetes is dysfunction of beta cells within the islets of pancreas, or else sometimes in some people, because of some deficiencies, right, these beta cells are absent. So those people, like those people are getting born to the world without having any beta cells in their body. So in that case also, my dear children, what will happen? The diabetes condition will occur, okay. So this is how the diabetes is going to occur. Now let's see how this thing is going to connect with the change of lifestyle of human beings, okay. So now you know what do you mean by the diabetes, right? Actually, we have learned this thing in the earlier cases as well, but however, I have given you a brief once again, right? Now let's see how this is going to connect with the change in lifestyle, okay. So here it is given, when diabetes is not controlled, kidney weakens and gradual blindness occurs. Due to busy lifestyle, consumption of food items made of wheat flour and polished rice, which are digested instantly, abstaining from exercising, and mental stress are some of the causes of diabetes. Now, here, my dear children, some other case is given. Here it is given specially when diabetes is not controlled. If a person is not going to control the blood glucose level or diabetes, my dear children, then what will happen? Kidney weakens. Our kidney is going to weak out. Now, can you remember when we are discussing about the chronic kidney disease, even over there we discussed about, right, my dear children. So like I said, now let's see how it is going to cause certain defects in our body. Now this is what will happen in diabetes, my dear children. Mainly the blood glucose level is going to increase. That's it. Now let's see how it is going to create bad defects in our body, okay. So the first and foremost bad defect is, my dear children, when we discuss this thing in CKD as well, here what is going to happen is our kidney is going to dysfunction, or else the filtration ability of the kidneys is not going to work well. if the glucose level is high within the blood. Okay, so when diabetes is not controlled, kidney weakens and gradual blindness occurs. So my dear children, kidney is going to weak and also gradual blindness is also going to occur. So how does the gradual blindness is going to occur? Actually, this condition is referred to as glaucoma. Okay, this condition is referred to as glaucoma, right? Here, my dear children, what will happen because of the high blood pressure within the eye, right? Within the eye, because of having high blood pressure, right? Due to diabetes, what will happen? The small nerves and nerve endings within the retina is going to disable, or else those things are not going to function well. So in that case, the signals that is going to carry out by these small nerves will not work properly. In that case, the gradual blindness will occur. So this is referred to as the glaucoma. Because of increasing, right, blood glucose level within the blood, the blood pressure within the eye is going to increase. So this will create certain defects within the eye, creating blindness. Okay. So not only that, my dear children, like I said previously, it is also going to affect for the function of the kidneys as well. So the kidneys, the filtration process of the kidneys will also get failed because of the glucose level, high blood glucose level. Okay, so therefore the kidneys will not work properly, and because of that the kidneys will have a greater chance to get failed. Okay, right. Then now let's see how does the diabetes is going to connect with our lifestyle. Okay, I mean, like, we are discussing the diseases which are getting caused because of change in the lifestyle of the human beings now. So now let's see how does the diabetes is going to directly, how does the diabetes is going to create because of the change in lifestyle of human beings. Okay, you know that because of change in lifestyle, different kinds of diseases are now getting spread within the people. Especially these things are referred to as non-infectious diseases, as these things are not getting contracted from one person to another. Okay, so now let's see how it is going to create this diabetes because of changing the lifestyle of human beings. So first of all, given, my dear children, due to busy lifestyle, now you know that upon change in our lifestyle, now why do we have a busy lifestyle? So like I said in the previous chapter, most of the times now we are going after money, because we need money in order to survive within this competitive environment. So this is a competitive environment, my dear children. So in that case, a good economy is very important, right? However, upon running towards this good economical life, we are forgetting about something. So this is our health. So sometimes we don't eat properly. Sometimes, even though we eat properly, right, we eat like instant food. Most of the times we use or we consume instant food because those things are very easy to find. Okay, so in that case, what will happen, my dear children? In that case, more often, right, we tend to use polished food items, pre-cooked food items, or else we are tending to use food items that contains more amount of sugars and carbohydrates. Okay, so definitely that will increase the blood glucose level. Actually, this thing is going to happen because of change in the lifestyle of us. Okay, it's mainly created because of the change of lifestyle of us. Now, people in the earlier times, they haven't had this kind of a competitive environment. They haven't had this kind of a competitive lifestyle. Okay, those people, right, before the industrialization, those people were literally agricultural based people. Okay, agriculture based people. That means, my dear children, they planted and they cultivated the needs within their garden themselves. Okay, and for other kinds of needs, they shared these things among the people. So they had only few problems, right? So but nowadays this lifestyle was very nowadays, I mean, my dear children, now when you take these days, or in our present, my dear children, now we are mainly, this is a society that is going to produce goods and services. So in that case, right, we have to go for several kinds of jobs for our occupation. Okay, so as our occupation, we are going to find out different kinds of jobs, right? So why do we need to find out jobs? Because this society is mainly based on making or producing some goods, or else selling some services. So in that case, occupation is really important, and occupation is really important. So my dear children, because of this lifestyle, what will happen? The people are always busy. Most of the people are running here and there because of their lifestyle, because of their occupation or any other works, right? So in that case, what will happen? Main thing which is going to happen is people will not be able to get necessary amount of food, nutritious food. So that will lead to definitely diabetes. Okay, so here it is given: due to busy lifestyle, consumption of food items made of wheat flour and polished rice, which are digested instantly, abstaining from exercises and mental stress are some of the causes of diabetes. So not only that, my dear children, not only consumption of these food items which contain carbohydrates and sugars, but my dear children, refraining from exercises. Okay, or else, now you know that upon having busy lifestyle, we won't be able to do physical exercises, because we are going to the job in the morning and we are coming back in the evening or during the night. Okay, coming in the night or during the evening. So the other thing is that our body is now completely fed up, so we won't be able to do any exercises. So during the weekends, right, people won't do any exercises because of running here and there, they are now completely fed up. So they would love to stay free within those days. So the time that we need to do some exercises, okay, or else, now you know that physical exercises are very important for us. So physical exercises will provide a good health, and also physical exercises will burn, right, this fat and other kinds of carbohydrates from our body. However, right, in order to do that kind of a thing, we should have some amount of time, no, at least 20 or 30 minutes. So because of this busy lifestyle, and because of this fed up week, or else we can say that because of the fed up day, right? Now week is some kind of a long like within a week there are 7 days, but however, within this week, my dear children, or within a whole week, entire week, like up to 6 days we are working. Only one day is within a one day we are staying at home. So within 1 week, within one certain week, we are doing our works. Okay, if you take one single day, within one single day, my dear children, people will have only like 3 to 4 hours to stay at home, right? So this time period is not enough to do some certain kinds of exercises. And for some people, my dear children, this condition is even worse. Why is that? Because for some people, the time period that they are going to work is even more greater than that. That means the time period that they are going to stay within the home is like 2 or like 1 hour. Okay, 1 or 2 hours. So this is going to be a very terrible condition for those guys. And when doing these kinds of things, or because of this busy lifestyle, the next thing which comes is the mental stress, right? Mental stress. So because of the mental stress also, this diabetes condition may occur. Now, because of the heavy workload, right? Because of the heavy workload and inability to complete the given things or given workload within the time period, people will definitely suffer. So therefore, my dear children, people will get definitely mentally stressed. Okay. So this mental stress is also a main causative agent of diabetes. Okay. So lack of physical exercises and also mental stress. These things are also going to create diabetes, my dear children. So these are the main causes of creation of diabetes. So as you can see, most of the causes which is given here are related to our busy lifestyle or change in our lifestyle. Okay, so diabetes is a disease, right? This disease mainly came out because of the change of lifestyle of the people. Okay, so nowadays diabetes is a most common disease that we can see among the people, right? Like between the ages 50 to 60. But however, my dear children, now a diabetes condition can be even be observed within the people who are at somewhat younger age too. Okay, main causative agent, as you can see, the main causative agent for the creation of diabetes is the busy lifestyle of the human beings. Okay, right. So this is about the diabetes then. Then, my dear children, the next one, cancer. Cancer is a disease caused by uncontrolled division of abnormal cells in a part of the body. With the industrialization, harmful radiation, chemical and heavy metals are abundant in the environment. Frequent exposure to radiation and intake of heavy metals to the body increase the possibility of a cancer. So cancer is a disease caused by an uncontrolled division of abnormal cells in a part of the body. So cancer is a disease, my dear children. This disease is mainly created, okay, this disease is mainly created because of the abnormal cell divisions. Now let's take a simple example like this. Now when you take our skin has different tissues. So these skin tissues perform different functions. Okay. Because of change in their DNA structures, because of several reasons like mutations, then exposing into radiation, exposed into chemicals, right? Whatever. So because of change in their DNA structures, right? These cells are now getting mutated. So these mutated cells are now getting grown without any control. The other thing is that the immunity system will not be able to identify these cancer cells properly. It's because, my dear children, even though their structure has been changed, these things are produced within our body now. So their DNA structure is somewhat similar to our body. Okay. Therefore, our immune system will not be able to identify these things properly. I mean, there are some certain cases where the immune system can identify and can destroy these cancer cells. Okay. But however, cancers, more often the cancer cells will not be able to identify by our immunity system. Okay. So therefore, my dear children, what will happen? These abnormal cells will grow without a limit. So in that case, what will happen? Our functions carried out by the skin cells will not be carried out properly. And the other thing is that the nutrition and the other minerals and chemicals which should be provided to the skin cells, my dear children, right? These abnormal skin cells or these cancer cells will absorb all of these nutrition and minerals in order to growth, in order for their growth. Okay, so that case, these necessary cells and necessary tissues contained within the skin will also fail. Then what will happen? Ultimately, finally, right, the whole skin will fail. However, the cancer will grow and grow throughout the skin cells. Then, my dear children, finally, the person who is failing with cancer will die because of inability to contain or maintain the functions carried out by the skin. So in that case, the cancer cells will also die. Okay, so this is like a suicide. So cancer cells are going to suicide. Suicide means, my dear children, they're going to consume almost all the nutrition and other food items and also minerals as well. Then all of these things are absorbed and they are going to reproduce themselves. However, the functions carried out by normal cells will not be able to carry out by these things, because the nutrition provided for those things will be absorbed by the cancer cells. So therefore, cancer cells will grow, but the other cells, the surrounding cells, will not be able to work out properly. Okay, so the other cells will die. Eventually, the organ will die. Then because of dying the organ, the person will die. And in that case, the cancer cells will also die. So this is mainly happening because of the growth of abnormal mutated cells within a certain organ or else a tissue. Okay, right. So when the industrialization, right? So with the industrialization, so you know that industrialization has happened, right? Now we are living in an industrialization, or else now we are living in industrialized environment, or else in a society, like I said in the previous. So with the industrialization, harmful radiation because of the several or different kinds of chemicals, and sometimes because of nuclear preparation centers, and because of nuclear bombs, my dear children, right? Harmful radiation will come out to the environment. Then because of different kinds of chemicals, substances, artificial chemical substances, like we have discussed these things, agrochemicals, pesticides and so on. Then heavy metals. Then the other thing is heavy metals. So all of these things are now abundant in our environment. Harmful radiation, harmful chemicals, harmful heavy metals, all of these things are now abundant in our environment. Okay, because of the industrialization. So frequent exposure to these radiation, intake of heavy metals into the body, and increase of usage of different kinds of artificially made chemicals will definitely increase the possibility of having cancer within the body, my dear children. Why is that? Because all of these things has the ability to mutate our cells contained within the body, or they have the ability to change the DNA structure within the cells of a certain area. So they have the ability to develop cancer cells within our body. So my dear children, cancer cells are mainly getting developed because of these reasons. Okay, because of radiation, different chemicals, and my dear children, different exposure to different kinds of heavy metals. So these will have the ability to mutate our cells. So these things came to the environment because of the industrialization. Okay, so my dear children, cancer is a disease which is widely getting spread within our society, mainly because of the change in lifestyle of the organisms, right? Organism means here in the sense people or human beings, right? Then given, my dear children, heart diseases. Narrowed or blocked blood vessels, heart muscles, valves, or rhythm not functioning properly led to heart diseases. Chest pain, heart attack, strokes, thrombosis are some forms of heart diseases. The main cause of heart disease is the changes in the human lifestyle. With the industrialization, activities of human have become more convenienced. Lack of physical exercises, rest, and mental stress cause these diseases. So the next one is heart diseases, my dear children. So here it is given, right? Narrowed or blocked blood vessels, heart muscles, valves, or rhythm not functioning properly will lead to heart diseases. So narrowed or blocked blood vessels. Why does the blood vessels are getting narrowed or blocked? Mainly because of depositing different kinds of fat, layers of fat within them. So these layers of fat are getting deposited within the blood vessels because of consumption of more oily foods. So more oily foods are mainly created or mainly consumed by the people by the junk food that they are going to consume. Junk food and instant food, my dear children. So we consume junk food and instant food in order to save our time, right? Most of the people, they use this junk food to save their time, right? It's quite easy to take a fried rice home when a certain person is going for the home by doing by doing their occupation, or by like for an example, if you take for the evening, or when you take the dinner, my dear children, most of the times people who are living in this society right now, they have adapted to use some kind of a instant food, and they're taking these things home because it is quite easy, right? Now when the office time is going to end at 6 or 7 p.m, they're going to take some kind of a food item, a fast food item, and they're going to take it home, right? It's quite easy, no? And it is also time saving, and it is pretty much difficult for us in order to cook after getting home, right? So most of the people have now, they have make this as a habit, right? They have made this thing as a habit, right? Because of the busy lifestyle, people are now eating more amount of oily and starchy foods. So because of that, my dear children, what will happen? Because of consumption of too much oily foods, the blood valves contained within the heart, okay, or but blood valves contained within the circulatory system will get narrowed down, or else these will get blocked eventually in the future. So this will create different kinds of cardiac diseases or heart diseases. Then heart narrowed or blocked blood vessels, heart muscles, valves, or rhythm not functioning properly. That means that our heart is going to function according to a rhythm. If this rhythm is not carried out properly, then what will happen? Then also, my dear children, it will lead to heart diseases. Okay, so chest pain, heart attack, strokes, thrombosis are some forms of heart diseases. So chest pain, okay, then heart attacks, okay, heart attacks, then strokes, thrombosis are some forms of heart diseases. So these are the forms of heart diseases, my dear children. So I think you have already learned about these things in the previous lessons, right? When we are discussing about the diseases associated with the blood circulatory system, right? I think you have learned about these things. So these are the most common diseases that we can come across, right, when we are discussing about the heart diseases. Then the main cause of heart diseases is the changes in human lifestyle. So changes in human lifestyle is the main reason for the heart diseases. With the industrialization, activities of human have become more convenienced, right? So activities of human has become more convenienced. Lack of physical exercises, lack of rest, and lack of and also the mental stress. So lack of physical exercises, rest, and also mental stress cause these diseases. So my dear children, you know that physical exercises, even in the previous case I have explained about the physical exercises, right? So lack of physical exercises, if a certain person is exercising well, my dear children, then the excess fat will get burned out. However, if a certain person is not exercising properly, or if they are not having a good physical exercise, then what will happen? Then excess amount of fat will get deposited within the body and the obesity will increase. Because of increase in obesity, what will happen? These conditions will occur. Narrowed or blocked blood vessels, heart muscles and valves will occur. So this will lead to heart diseases. Then the other thing is that because of less rest, okay, or else lack of rest. So if a certain person is having not enough amount of rest within a certain day, right, you know that within a certain day a person should have at least 8 hours of sleep, at least. But however, my dear children, nowadays you know that people are not having that much of a sleep, right? People like some of the people, they are coming to the home after their work like around 10 p.m. Then by doing their day-to-day activities, right, they go to sleep like around 12 p.m. right, or 12 midnight, right, 12 midnight. So the 11 a.m. 11 p.m. or within 11 p.m. and 12 midnight, so they go to sleep. Then my dear children, in the early morning they're going to once again wake up like around 4:30 p.m. they're going to wake up. So see how much is the gap that they have. They're having like 5 to 6 hours of rest. So this is not enough. Then once again they have to run early in the morning for their jobs. So this is also not good for us. It's mainly because each and every body, right, each and every human being, they should have, right, these people should have enough amount of rest within a certain day. So if they are not receiving that, then my dear children, this will definitely lead to heart diseases. Okay. Then the other thing is the mental stress. So you know that because of heavy workloads and because of not having enough rest, definitely these guys will these guys who are working like this kind of a this kind of a stressful environment will definitely have mental stress. So that will also increase the tendency of getting heart diseases, my dear children. Okay, so this is about the heart diseases then, right? So heart diseases are also mainly created because of changes in lifestyle of human beings. Okay, because of mainly the industrialization and urbanization processes. Okay, right. So this is the next disease, my dear children, the heart diseases. Right then. Then pulmonary diseases. An unhealthy condition which affects the organs or tissues which involves in respiration, such as trachea, bronchioles, alveoli, and other nerves and muscles may cause pulmonary diseases. Harmful gases emitted from vehicles and factories also contribute to this. So my dear children, about the pulmonary diseases, unhealthy condition which affects the organs or tissues which involves in respiration. So pulmonary diseases are the diseases which are associated with the respiratory system, like the areas in our body which is related to the respiratory system. Nasal cavity, trachea, larynx, then bronchioles, alveoli, lungs. Okay, So these areas will get affected because of different kinds of toxic gases. Some particulate substances like asbestos, silica, and so on. Okay, sometimes plastic fibers as well. Okay, so these things will enter to our respiratory system, and my dear children, the respiratory areas will get blocked. Because of that, different kinds of respiratory diseases will occur, especially like wheezing, asthma, right? So these kinds of diseases are also mainly created because of the busy lifestyle, and also, my dear children, mainly because of the environment pollution. Okay, so my dear children, these pulmonary diseases are mainly, like I said, these pulmonary diseases are mainly related with the respiratory areas. Okay, so wheezing, asthma are these kinds of diseases. So mainly these diseases are created because of the busy lifestyle, and actually busy lifestyle is not a direct influence for the respiratory diseases, but however, my dear children, environment pollution. Now this is going to be a terrible issue, or this is a very direct, right? It is a very direct influence of creating these pulmonary diseases. Okay, so you know that because of the environment pollution, different kinds of toxic particles, gases are getting released to the environment. So when people are going to inhale and exhale these substances, different kinds of respiratory diseases will definitely create within the body. Okay, especially asthma, wheezing are mainly created because of particulate matter contained within the air. Okay, so these particles can be silica, like dust particles, or else asbesto particles, right? Sometimes the people who are working in quarries, right? Definitely these people will have these kinds of pulmonary diseases. So other than that, my dear children, the toxic gases emitted by the burning of fossil fuel will also create different kinds of pulmonary diseases. So my dear children, these pulmonary diseases are mainly created because of the industrialization process. Okay, mainly created because of the industrialization process. Now in the earlier times also, pulmonary diseases were there, but in very smaller amounts, not like this much of an extent. Okay, so my dear children, as you can see here, these pulmonary diseases, right, these pulmonary diseases are also created mainly because of the change in lifestyle of human beings. Okay, pulmonary diseases then. So when you take cancers related to the respiratory tract, these things are also can be taken as a pulmonary diseases. Okay, this is also can be considered as a pulmonary disease. And my dear children, other than these particulate substances, toxic gases like sulfur dioxide, right, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, unburned carbon particles, these can also create serve conditions for our pulmonary or for our respiratory tract. Okay, right then. So the next one, wheezing. So we are discussing about pulmonary diseases. So the first one given, wheezing. Here the airways are obstructed by, right, obstructed by the mucus produced due to allergies in trachea, bronchioles and alveoli of the respiratory system. Harmful gases and dust particles, air pollutants and irritants remain as causes. So first and foremost thing now we are going to discuss about the pulmonary diseases is, my dear children, number one, as you can see here it is given, wheezing. So here the airways are obstructed by the mucus produced due to allergies in trachea, bronchioles and alveoli of the respiratory system. Okay, harmful gases and dust particles like air pollutants and irritants remains as the causes. So here you know that respiratory tract is continuously covered with the mucus. It's important to have mucus within our respiratory tract. Mucus helps to prevent, right, or else it helps to absorb different kinds of pollutants and different kinds of dust particles, right, and it also helps to clean the air particles. Okay, so mucus is very important. But what will happen if the quality of the air drops down? If the quality of the air drops down, my dear children, more and more mucus will be produced by the respiratory tract in order to get clean air. So in that case, my dear children, what will happen? The airways will get obstructed by extra mucus produced due to allergies in trachea and also bronchi and bronchioles. That means within the respiratory tract. So harmful gases and dust particles, right? Harmful gases and dust particles. These are the main reasons for the loosening of quality in normal breathing air, right? So because of losing quality in normal breathing air, what will happen? These kind of things will occur, okay? And wheezing will occur eventually, okay? Right. Then let's head on to see the next one. Gastritis. Okay, gastritis. So this is a different kind of a disease. So wheezing is related to the pulmonary diseases, my dear children. Okay, now we are going to discuss about different kind of a disease. So this disease is gastritis. I think with the name itself, you know what does this disease is, or what kind of a disease is this, right? So gastritis, I think you have sometimes you have even have the experience of gastritis as well, right? So gastritis is like a most common disease, right? A very common disease among the people right now. Mainly created, you know, because of missing or skipping their meals, right? So let's see. Inflammation and swelling in the lining of the stomach due to increasing acidity is the main symptom of this disease. Not taking meals on time because of busy lifestyle, frequent consumption of food containing excessive oil and acids, mental stress caused because of living under a competitive condition are the causes of this disease, right? You know that usually we get this gastritis because of skipping our meals, okay? And my dear children, because of the skipping of meals, inflammation and swelling in the lining of the stomach. Within our stomach, you know that there is a small bit of a lining, right? There's a tissue layer within our stomach. So this lining or this tissue layer is getting inflated, right? Inflated. That means, my dear children, actually what happens is, because of the action of hydrochloric acid within the body or within our stomach, these things are actually getting swelled, okay, swelled and inflated. And also this inflammation, right, this inflammation will create different kinds of, right, pains in our stomach. And also, my dear children, if the condition is going to be somewhat worse, okay, if the condition is going to be even worse, then in that case, what will happen for the person, right, who is having this gastritis? If the condition is going to go to the worst condition, then wounds will occur within the digestive tract. Here, the digestive tract means starting from the stomach towards the intestines. Wounds will occur, and sometimes, my dear children, in the esophagus as well. Okay, so the person will not be able to consume food in that case. Okay, if the condition is going to be worse, right? So increase in the acidity is the main symptom of this disease. So increase in the acidity, you know that our stomach contains hydrochloric acid. So acidity level is going to increase within the stomach if the stomach is going to starve, or if there is no enough food within the stomach. Okay, so this acid will eventually consume the lining of the stomach, the tissues of the stomach, by inflating these things, right? Or inflammation by swelling these tissues, and finally these tissues will get deteriorated gradually and creating wounds inside the stomach. So this kind of a condition is the one which is referred to as gastritis. Okay, so not taking meals on time because of busy lifestyle. So like I said, my dear children, you know that people are having very less time within a certain day to do their day-to-day works. They come very late and they go very early for their works. Okay, so between the mid time interval, I mean between the very less time interval, like 6 to 7 hours, the remaining 6 to 7 hours, he or she should have to do the entire work processes related to their day-to-day life. Okay, that means cooking, right? Then works related to the household activities. Then, my dear children, the works related to their children, and works related to their parents, and so on. So all of these things, all of these works should be carried out within the limited time period, like 6 to 7 hours that they have. So this time period is not enough. For sure, it's not enough. That means, my dear children, what will happen eventually, these people definitely will skip 1 or 2 meals, right? Sometimes, my dear children, daily, right? Daily, they're going to miss their breakfast or lunch. So this will definitely create gastritis. So busy lifestyle is a main reason for the creation of gastritis. Here, because of the busy lifestyle, people are skipping meals, deliberately or not deliberately. However, sometimes people are skipping meals, my dear children, because of the busy lifestyle. So, frequent consumption of food containing excessive oils and acids. So, other than that, my dear children, frequent consumption of food containing excessive oils and acids. So, like I said, okay, people are more often now using, right? People more often are now using some kinds of foods which are being pre-cooked, or else these foods are also referred to as junk or instantaneous foods. So these instantaneous foods are not that much healthy to our body, because these things contain too much oil, too much carbohydrate, and other different kinds of chemicals. And sometimes even they contain different kinds of acids too. So these will, when these things get into our body conditions will get, right, deteriorated gradually. I mean, like our optimum body conditions, or body, optimum levels within the body, my dear children, right? These optimum levels will not be maintained within the optimum levels. These things go up and down, especially blood glucose level, the oil and the fat layers, right? Fat and oil within the body, and also acidity and some other levels as well. So upon changing these levels, my dear children, different diseases will occur to our body, especially when increasing the acidity level within the body or within the stomach. What will happen? Gastritis will occur. So our food habits are also a main reason, right? Our food habits are also a main reason for the creation of gastritis, right? Okay, then the other thing is mental stress. As you can see, mental stress is coming for each and every disease. For each and every disease condition, we can observe this mental stress. So it's very important to have a peaceful and a calm mindset, right? But however, my dear children, you know that within this competitive environment, we won't be able to keep a calm and a stress-free mind, right? So people are now facing mainly these diseases because of the mental stress. Okay, mainly because of the mental stress and the heavy workload that they have. Okay, so it's important to have a good economical life, but however, it's very important to live also, right? Living and having a good economy, from those two, the best thing to choose is the living, not the economy, right? So my dear children, it's very important to live. So we have to live first, right? So it's very important to, right? Now you know that if a certain person need to live their life, then health is very important factor. So it's very important to keep up our health, right? In doing that, so definitely you can live your life without any trouble. However, economy is also very important, but the living of life is very important rather than the economy. Okay, right? So here it is given then, because of living under a competitive condition. Then the next reason is because of living under a competitive condition. So like I said, my dear children, people are now living in a competitive environment. So they have to have these kinds of, they have to do several sacrifices in order to meet up with this competitive lifestyle. So in that case, my dear children, people will tend to skip their meals. So this competitive lifestyle is also a reason for the creation of diabetes, heart diseases, then pulmonary diseases, and as well as these gastritis as well. Okay, so for all of these diseases, as you can see, this competitive lifestyle has become a main reason, and also mental stress has become a main reason. Okay, right. Then my dear children, cataract. So I think we have learned about the cataract in several occasions when we are learning about this lesson part, right? When we are learning about the photochemical smoke, we learned about the cataract. When we are discussing about the ultraviolet rays, when we are discussing about the ozone layer depletion, we discuss about the cataract. So now once again you can see cataract. So you know that cataract is getting created within our eyes because of the change in protein, right? Because of the changes in protein levels within our eye. So here it is given, due to change in the nature of proteins in the eye lens, the transparency of the lens ceases. It is known as the cataract. Here, light does not enter the eye and the eyesight is weakened. Due to emission of harmful gases from factories, the ozone layer becomes depleted. Thus, ultraviolet rays fall on the earth. The exposure to these rays is a cause for this disease. So I think you have learned about the cataract, my dear children. Okay, so this is how the cataract is going to create. So let's see first of all, what do you mean by cataract? So cataract means, my dear children, here the nature of the proteins in the eye lens is going to change. Nature of the proteins in the eye lens is going to change. You know that our eye lens is transparent. Okay, but however, upon change in the protein levels, right, within the eye, the transparency is going to reduce and it is going to create like a translucent kind of a material within the eye lens. Okay, so that will create, my dear children, a certain kind of a, like a solid kind of a substance. Now this solid kind of a substance created within the eye lens will not be able to, or will not allow to pass light through it properly. So if the light rays are not passing through the eye lens, my dear children, then what will happen? Then the images will not be created properly within the eye, and the person will not be able to observe things properly. Okay, so this condition is referred to as cataract. Here the transparent nature of the eye lens is getting reduced gradually. Okay, so the transparency of the lens ceases. So like I said, transparent nature of the eye lens is getting reduced gradually. It is known as the cataract. Here light does not enter the eye and the eyesight is weakened. So like I said, here what will happen? The light will not enter to the eye, right? And it will not pass through the eye lens very well because it is not transparent right now. And therefore the eyesight is going to weaken. Then, due to the emission of harmful gases from factories, the ozone layer becomes depleted. So, you know that there are different kinds of gases which is going to emit from factories, and also there are different kinds of gases which is going to emit because of the burning of fossil fuel by different kinds of machines and vehicles. So these gases which are emitted is going to deplete the ozone layer. So because of depletion of ozone layer, different kinds of harmful rays will come in contact with the people, especially rays like ultraviolet rays. And these rays, when these rays are coming in contact with people, what will happen, my dear children? There is a possibility to change the nature of protein levels within the eye lens, creating cataract. Because UV rays, ultraviolet rays, contains large amount of energy. So this energy has the ability to deform or mutate cells and other structures. Okay. So ozone layer depletion is a main reason for the creation of cataract. Right then. Then the exposure to rays is a cause for this disease. So like I said, exposure to harmful light rays which is coming from the sun is the main reason for the creation of cataract. Okay, so this is the cataract, my dear children. Right, my dear children. So we have learned several diseases related to the changes in lifestyle of people. People means in here human beings. So we have learned about, first of all, we have learned about CKD, chronic kidney disease. Then we have learned about several other kinds of diseases like heart diseases, pulmonary diseases, diabetes, then, my dear children, cancers, then about, as you can see, finally we learned about gastritis and about the cataracts. So these are the diseases which is mainly created because of the changes in lifestyle of human beings. So my dear children, the life of the normal human beings changed mainly because of the industrialization and urbanization. Now the people are, right, mainly focused on these commercial markets and on this commercial environment, where they're going to find out a certain job and where they're going to live off their life by earning money and by taking and by giving out their necessary things and services and goods. Okay, so because of this thing, my dear children, because of this lifestyle, commercial lifestyle, human beings have faced different kinds of threats. Okay, these threats are especially different kinds of diseases. So because of change in the lifestyle of people from an agricultural level to an industrial level, what has happened mainly is their busy lifestyle, right, and stressful mindset are the main reasons of creation of these diseases. Okay, and because of the stressful mind, right, and because of the busy lifestyle, right, people are skipping meals. People are tending to get food items that are having much amount of oil and starch, and people are tending to use different kinds of instantaneous foods, prepared food items with different kinds of chemicals and other substances. Then because of the environment pollution created mainly because of the industrialization, my dear children, different kinds of pollutants, right, and different kinds of irritants are getting released to the environment, and because of those irritants and pollutants, different kinds of diseases will get created within the bodies of the people. So these are the areas, or these are the main cases, right, for the creation of these kind of diseases for the people, my dear children. So within this chapter, we focused about the diseases created mainly because of changing the lifestyle of people, or due to change the lifestyle of human beings. Okay, so from that, my dear children, I'm going to finish up this chapter. So within our next chapter, we'll be focusing about other things related to the lesson. Okay.
To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.